Hey, this is an update once again. I seem to always be doing updates because I can never keep up with making videos and editing them. I'm back again to try the YouTube thing. I didn't vlog or try and make videos all summer long just because I kind of gave up on doing that. I didn't feel like it was my strong suit or that I could keep up with it. So I just didn't film. And I took a lot of pictures during San Diego Comic-Con. It's a bummer that I didn't take video and even attempt to make anything for that weekend. So I will probably end up doing like a Remember Comic-Con 2018 video. Just to show pictures and to talk about everything that I got to see and experience that weekend, because I just didn't do a video. I didn't think I was going to be making anything for YouTube on that. But since then, right after Comic-Con, I did up and move to New York, which was really random and last second. I had just graduated college and my sister was going to start school out here, and I just kind of decided to go along with her. Why not? For the adventure. I've been working and I have been continuing to keep up with my comic books and movies and whatnot, and then I just have been re-inspired to go back to YouTube. I was bummed that I didn't really do anything for San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm just going to redeem that because in 2 weeks is New York Comic-Con. It's going to be my very first New York Comic-Con. I'm only going to be there for a day, so I'm going to make the most of that and take video, take pictures, and walk around. I'm actually going to try and meet up with some people that I met through Instagram. If you haven't seen my Instagram account, it's by the same name, RedLeader13. And it's basically keeping up with mostly comic books because that is constant and there's new comic books every single week. So it's easy to keep up with that. So it seems like it's mostly comic book content, but it's also film content. And in the past 2 weeks, there have been a lot of movies coming out recently. So I've been able to keep up and do reviews for those. And what I'm reading so far, going back to comic books, I love Midtown Comics. This is just me keeping up with books recently. I visited Midtown Comics the first time that I came to New York because I knew that it was like the biggest comic book store in the country, and I of course had to stop by. And now that I live here, it's near where I work, so it's pretty easy for me to just walk down to Midtown Comics after work or before and pick up all the latest books. Reading a lot of series. Some of them are limited series, like The Life of Captain Marvel and Blackwood. Those are just limited to like 5 issues. I think same with Nightmare Before Christmas, Zero's Journey. I think it's just like a limited series manga. I have been reading Lando, Double or Nothing. I have also been reading Spider-Geddon. Actually, I think that is also a limited series. And Mr. and Mrs. X-23. Those are still relatively new. And I've been reading those and loving those. I just started Iceman because that just came out 2 weeks ago maybe. And they're just, like I said, there's constant series coming out. There's constantly new issues to read. And those are just some of the few that I've been into and keeping up with. I'm sure I'm going to start new ones this week or next week, whichever. But those are series I have been reading, and I will try to keep up on doing reviews for a handful of them and not just one at a time, but do hauls and things that I pick up at the bookstore that aren't just comic books, like Funkos. I recently got Enfy's Nest Funko, which I have been after for a while, and I'm super happy that I finally got it. I'm really content with just that one. I started way back when getting just Star Wars Funkos, and it slowly started to build, and as many of you know, there are Funko collectors who... It's insane. Funko collecting is a whole other world, and I just didn't want to get into that because it's just, I don't have the room for it. I feel like I'm constantly moving from place to place or city to city, so I just can't keep up with having so many Funkos. I already have so many things stored back home that I couldn't bring out here to New York. Movie-wise, a quick update on that. I'll make a separate video on my favorite films of the year so far, now that we're winding down to the last few months of the year. But the last thing I watched this past weekend was A House with a Clock in Its Walls, directed by Eli Roth, and I'm a big fan of Eli Roth. No matter what he puts out, I'm down to go see. I loved this movie. It was hilarious. It even scared me at some point. It's supposed to be like a kid's kind of horror movie, but it just felt like an instant classic Halloween film. I felt like I was watching Hocus Pocus or Halloween Town, something that everybody wants to pop in during the time of Halloween, and it was perfect for fall. So the colors of the film, Cate Blanchett, Jack Black were so well with each other. I loved it. Their banter was hilarious, and I really enjoyed it. I want to go back and see it again. Like, it is a kid's movie. I thought it'd be a little scary for some kids in some parts. Maybe me, I'm a baby, but I had a lot of fun with it. I absolutely loved the dialogue. The kid actors in that film were phenomenal. They were so great. I loved it. Last week, during the week, I went to go see Mandy, and it sucks that it's only playing at certain movie theaters and not all theaters, because everyone needs to see this film. Not a lot of people can take the gore or the kind of psychedelic feel it has to it, and not just feel it, like visually is psychedelic. There's straight up scenes where they're on drugs, and so it's trying to make you feel like you're on them too, and everything's all blurred and colored. It's really cool. But I went down to IFC Center, which was really awesome, because I've been watching IFC channel like all through college and whatever, and so I went down there, and it's one of those classic old theaters where it's just one room and it just plays one film at a time, and the theater was filled with like all bunch of dudes, and I went down to go see it by myself, but the whole theater had fun watching this film. Like, we were cracking up, and then we were super quiet when it got like really intense. Nicolas Cage, like, I know there's so many raving reviews about him out there about this film. They're true, because that bathroom scene where he's just freaking out and having a meltdown, which is the scene like everybody is talking about, is legit, man. It's like haha funny kind of at first, and then I was like, oh my god, like my heart broke for him, because he's in pain, like physical and emotional, and it's just an amazing scene. And the rest of it just got really bloody and really fun and really cool, and it was like hilarious, but also like super wild. Oh my god, that's another one I probably will go back and see again, just because it was so awesome. And it's the same director and writer of Beyond the Black Rainbow, which was a film that I had trouble watching at first. I just couldn't follow it. It was not my style, and when I knew this guy was making another film, I was like, oh boy, okay, because I remember the Black Rainbow, and it exceeded my expectations. I loved it. And then another one that I am always kind of finding myself defending, I don't think it's an amazing, like, Oscar-worthy movie, but Predator. It came out like 2-3 weeks ago. It got terrible reviews, and I totally understand. It's very cheesy and corny, and it like had nothing to do with Predator. It was just this group of people, and it was kind of more about them than it was about Predator. But I had so much fun watching this film. I say that about like all these films, but it's just true, and that's what I look for in a film, where I can just get totally lost in it, and I'm cracking up, and I'm in the story along with those characters. And that's how I felt like. That's what I felt like in Predator. I was rooting for them, I was laughing with them, I was worried about them, and I had a lot of fun. I thought the comedy in it kind of came out of left field. I did not know it was going to be funny in that way, but it definitely felt like a comedy rather than a drama. But the Predator was cool in it. I don't know if they're going to make another one with the same, director and crew and all that, but it was funny. It was cheesy. I enjoyed myself, and I didn't cringe really at any of it. Nothing like A Simple Favor. That was very cringeworthy. I wasn't a fan of that one, and I'll leave it at that. But this was supposed to be a short video, and again, I rambled on about everything. I even tried to do bullet points of what I was going to mention and just bring up an update about, and that went out the window. So I'll try and keep up with YouTube videos. I really want to try this again and just give it another run, especially with New York Comic Con coming up in 2 weeks. I really want to try and keep it up to where I film my whole day there, my whole experience, my first New York Comic Con. So bear with me. Thank you for watching. I will hopefully be getting videos in weekly. And yeah, if you don't follow me on Instagram, same name, RedLeader13, and it's just post about comic books and nerdy stuff. So thanks for watching.